are live. I am doing 20-30 minutes of side split stretching starting basically right now. And we are all about practicing consistency and coming in to do a little bit every single day to make progress. Not perfection, progress. Okay, I am trying to get rid of some of these notifications. The first thing is a completely unget rid ofable notification about privacy and community guidelines. All right. Great. All right. We are 48, 49 seconds into the live, and I think that means we are going to get started. We're going to get started with the hip cars. That means we're going to do range of motion training. Starts like this: high knee, open up the hips, bring the ankle up, leg down and back. We're going to do 10 reps. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hello, Queen R. Man, that's weird. Oh, it just stays at the top of the chat. Okay, good. The thing I was complaining about moments ago just happens to be the first message in the chat, so it will eventually move out of the way for messages as they come in. Welcome, Queen R. We're doing the other side. Here's 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right. Let's do the reverse. I'm going to show you it from the profile so you know what I'm talking about. We're going to bring the leg back using our hamstrings and glutes. Then we're going to open up, ankle down, knee forward. All right, so that's what it looks like from the front. Back, side, ankle, forward. We're going to do 10 reps. We just did 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That message come through? Feeling a bit stiff from sitting all day, so I'm excited to stretch. Oh, well, we're going to get some blood pumping with the warm-up that we're doing right now, and we'll be stretching real soon. All right, let's do the same for the other side. We are doing pulling the leg back using your hamstrings and your glutes. I always point to them in reverse, but you get the point. Bring that leg up. Try to keep the ankle kind of behind the knee. Then rotate the ankle down so you get that whole entire rotation. Bring the knee forward. All right, as 1 rep, we're going to do 10 more, or 9 more, 10 total. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, I'm a little bit off balance. 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, those are the hip cars. We did a little bit of range of motion and strengthening for those extreme hip ranges of motions. Now we're going to do some elephant walks, primarily for the hamstring and maybe the underglute. To get into the elephant walk, we want to start by getting into this sort of L shape. If you're a little bit higher up, that's totally fine. What I want you to try is to bend one knee and keep the other leg straight. If you lean into that knee and lean forward, your hips will rotate a little bit. I want you to do that so that you kind of have like a sassy hip, all right? Putting that extra pull into the hip enhances the stretch, okay? So, next I want you to bring your belly button down to the ground. I say belly button because that's closest to your hip. If you bring your head or your chest to the ground, notice that my belly button isn't really moving and my hips aren't going anywhere, but I can move my head and chest all over the place. All right, so focus on bringing your belly button down to the ground. Now, you should feel the stretch in the hamstring in the bent leg. You should feel the stretch in the hamstring in the straightened leg. And you should feel a little bit of a stretch out here on the upper butt of the straightened leg. To increase the intensity of that stretch, I want you to grab onto your shin and try to open your chest in the direction of the straight leg. So my right leg is straight. I'm going to open my chest in the direction of my right leg. And if you want, you can lift an arm so you can point to something so you know just how much you're rotating. Now, when you add in all those pieces, you're doing some spine mobility, thoracic spine rotation, as well as some oblique stretching, and really feeling a lot of stretch in that upper outer hip. If you're not feeling in the upper outer hip, try to bring your chest a little bit lower to the ground. All right, let's switch to the other side. I'd like to take the first couple nice and slow because usually hamstrings are not quite this warmed up. We spend most of our time sitting in a chair, whether it's in a car, at a table. So take your time with that first or second rep. And same thing, thoracic rotation. Point your finger somewhere so you have a mark to work towards. All right, let's keep on going. We're gonna do 10 total. I've shown you the more intense variations. You can always make it slightly easier, whatever's comfortable for you to get all of the 10 reps done. So if you want to just focus on hamstrings, you can do that. If you want to add a little bit of rotation, but not too much, you can do that. And if you want to work really hard and make your best effort, add more. I think that's 4 or 5. Let's keep going. We're halfway. Remember, when you're adding stuff to these motions, focus primarily on the important stuff, which is the hamstrings and these upper outer glutes, okay? Because we're doing side splits. If you don't really mind the side splits and it's just for fun, then you can focus on the other stuff. Thoracic rotation, if you have rough spine mobility, is a great thing to work on. Okay. Whew, I am sweating. I think we've done our 10 reps of elephant walk. So let's continue and move on with Cossack switches. Cossack switches look a little bit like this. We're going to get into a wide stance with our legs. We're going to go a little bit wider than that. And we're going to try to drop our weight to one side. You should feel it in this hip joint. You should feel it a little bit in the calves and ankle here. And we just want to rest into this position. We're not trying to explode up and out of it. We're not trying to make a whole bunch of drama out of this. Just trying to calmly sit down, relax into this position. All right. And that other leg that seems like it's relaxing, we're going to give it a job as well. We're going to point the toes up and work on a little bit of external rotation in that hip and leg. External rotation is when you point your toes away from the center of your body, if that makes sense. All right. Once we've spent a little bit of time here, loosening up those muscles, focus on getting into a position where your heel is down on the ground and you feel stable. If your knee is really far in this way or really far out that way, it's not really the goal. We want to get into a strong position. If you want to train those ranges of motions for some other reason, that's totally fine. And those are reasonable things to train. But it's not our intention at this moment. I'm going to come in and check the chat in case there's some questions. Hey, Tina. Welcome back. All right. Let us continue. Where are we at? We were down here. Let's switch to the other side. And we're going to do 5 total reps. Tina, what day of the week is it? I've been traveling, so I've kind of lost track. Have you been to Taekwondo? All right. Let's keep going and let's hit our 5th rep I hope your hips are warmed up because we're going to get started with the rest of the stretches. The first stretch is the hamstring stretch, and we're going to do this by standing up straight, taking a step forward with the leg you want to stretch, throwing your hips back, and creating this angle with your body so that you can get into the hamstring stretch, but keep your upper body mostly horizontal. The reason we do this is because we want gravity working for you. And when you're angled like this, gravity has a lot of leverage to pull you down. All right. So if you're here and you're feeling off balance, feel free to grab onto something on either side, maybe a wall. If you are feeling pretty good, just widen your stance a little bit to make sure your balance is going to be stable. And try to bring your belly button down to your thigh. We're going to hold this for 30 seconds. All right. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Whew. All right, that's one side. Let's rotate and get ready to do the other side. Stand up straight, take a step forward, throw the hips back, and try to bring the belly button down to the thigh after you've widened your stance. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Whew. All right. Hamstring stretch is done. Let's drop down and get into some butterfly. Try to sit up straight. Grab your feet. Pull them in towards you. Your knees should come up. That's totally normal. Flex your glutes and your outer thigh muscles to try and bring the knees down. You want to contract, contract, contract. Open up the groin. And once you've gotten as low as you can go, we'll start our 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. Feel free to apply a little bit of pressure on either side. 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oof. All right. Massage those hips real quick. And let's get ready for the third stretch. We're getting into pancake. All right. To get into pancake, we're going to widen the stance. We're going to fold at the hips and focus on bringing our chest and belly buttons down to the ground. All right. Take a couple of deep breaths. Widen the stance some more. And let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oof. Oh man, pancake is one of those really tough stretches that always give me quite the beating. Let's get ready to move on into the pigeon. So for the pigeon, we are basically bringing our ankle up towards our opposite hip and bring our chest down. So we bring this whole leg this way. All right. We're going to do this on the floor so that gravity can pull our chest down to the ground. And let's go. Whew. Once I get into this position, I am frequently feeling this hip muscle being real tight. So I like to recommend that we move a little bit in this hip to loosen it up before we start the pigeon. All right. Once you've done that, let's try to bring the hips low to the ground and chest low to the ground. And 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Whew. All right, switch to the other side. Same thing. If your hips are feeling tight, spend a couple of seconds moving them. Then try to get your leg perpendicular to your body. Bring the chest down and keep the hips low. And 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11. Make sure to take nice deep breaths and try to relax into the stretch. It's really common to hold a lot of tension here in the low back, and that keeps you from getting deeper into the stretch. So keep that in mind. 3, 2, 1. All right, we are done with the pigeon. It's time for the final stretch. Today, I think we're going to do a couple of rounds of the side split. Usually we do one side split for 30 seconds and then get into some horse stances to strengthen our muscles. Today, let's do 3 rounds of 30 seconds of side splits. All right. We're going to take a little bit of rest in between each one. Don't worry. Let's get going. All right. So we're going to set this up very similar to how we set up Pancake. We're going to start by swiggling our feet and our hips out and try and get into a deep-ish position. Once you feel like you're getting a little bit stuck, I want you to focus on externally rotating your legs. What that means is if your feet were down on the ground and potentially pointing out in front of you, I want you to rotate your whole leg so that your toes are pointing up, your knees pointing up, and your quad muscles are pointing up. And we're going to do that on both sides. Once we've done that, the bone structure in our hips when with our legs should allow us to get a little deeper into a side split stretch. If you shift your weight back towards your hips, you should drop just a little lower. All right, this is where I'm starting for our first round of side split stretching. So let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right. Let's reduce the intensity of that stretch. Come back up into a squat if you want. We're going to take a tiny break and I'm going to explain some things to keep in mind for the next side split stretch that we do. We're trying to keep ourselves in the side split or almost approaching side split type of position. All of a sudden, my nose is super itchy. Don't know where this is coming from. Okay, we're good. No, maybe we're not good. Okay, no sneeze. Oh. And part of that means we want to get into a very stable position. So this is where maybe you want to consider grabbing a stool grabbing something to support your body, potentially. If you've watched other people who do fitness and flexibility, putting some yoga blocks underneath your hips to give you a little bit more stability. And what we're trying to do is a combination of things. One could be waiting out some of the tension. When your body's getting into a side split stretch and it's not a normal position, your brain generally freaks out and does not want you there and causes all your muscles to tense up to keep you from getting into a worse, dangerous position. You and I both know it's probably not that dangerous a position. We've seen plenty of crazy people on the internet pull this off like it's normal. And what we want to do is practice letting our brain figure that out for itself. One of the ways to do that is to spend a little bit more time in that position. And there are a couple of other techniques to help enhance that process. But we're not going to get into that today. We're going to get back into the side split. And my goal is to remind you, if you need to help yourself feel safer, grab something to help you stabilize. Other than that, we're getting back into the side split stretch because we had plenty of rest. Let's go. We're in the stance. Once you're about as low as you can get in that position, externally rotate the legs, rest more weight into your hips, and see how low you can drop. Let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, come back up. Relax for a second. If you tried anything different, let me know what you tried and tell me how it changed things. Oh, I'm gonna crawl slightly forward and do a little tiny bit of movement before we get into our final side split. One of the things that I notice is when I externally rotate and have my toes point up, I put a lot of weight on my heels. And if you find that uncomfortable, I recommend you putting on some sneakers perhaps, or getting a little bit of foam or something else that will protect your heels. I want to remind you that if it's a little too slippery, be very, very careful, because if your legs slide out faster than you can control them, that might not be so fun. Whew. Okay. That being said, I've never really had problems with that, so I think maybe it's a hypermobile people issue, and I'm just not hypermobile. But I just want to let you know that it's something I've heard of, and be careful. Okay, that's enough rambling. Let's get into the third and last side split stretch. Let's go. Drop into a deep side split position. Once your legs are no longer going down, externally rotate. Open up the hips and see if you can drop a little deeper into the stretch. Once you are as low as you think you're going to be able to get for the moment, try to put more weight into your hips. And we'll start at 30 seconds now. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, crawl on forward. Get out of that position. Oh, on the third try, I definitely bent my arm a little bit more to allow my hips to get deeper. I've been placing my hands in between my legs to give myself a little support, so not the entirety of my body weight goes right into the hips. And on that third rep, especially for the last 10, 15 seconds or so, I really try to put more weight into the hips and I immediately slid deeper into the side split stretch. So, what that means for you as a lesson or something to keep in mind is if you've been doing your side split a very particular way for a very long time, perhaps you should try to adjust and tweak your position so that you give yourself a little less support, a little less help, and maybe that will help you get out of your own way and get into a deeper side split. All right, that's it for today. Thank you so much for coming in and practicing consistency with me. I'm glad we could spend, 25, 26 minutes doing some side splits related stretching. Tina, as always, lovely to see you. Thank you for coming back in. And yeah, that's it. That's all we got for today. Thank you, everybody, for coming back. We are going to be going same time pretty much every day, at least for the rest of this month. So schedule it, put it in your calendars, and I hope to see you tomorrow, later this week, and at some point this month. Thank you so much for coming. I am ready to shut off the live. So if you got any last second messages, feel free to send those in. Otherwise, I will be shutting down the live in, I don't know, 10 seconds. All right. Last chance. I'm a little out of breath from doing all this talking and also the side splits and forgetting to breathe a little bit in between. But we're wrapped up, so I can go chill now. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Peace out.